Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, welcome to First Love Yourself, where love, life, and Christ combine. I am so grateful to have you here on this journey of self-discovery and empowerment with me. In today's video, we are going to talk about selflessness. And to stop being selfish. Just kidding. No, but before we get started, if you're new here, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on more uplifting and empowering content like this. So get comfortable because we are about to get into it. Let's go. Okay. Oof. Selflessness. Mm. You know, we are in this era where we're talking a lot about self-care, and I think that is so important. But God has been placing on my heart this past week. And like before I get started, this is day 3 of the Vlogmas. So this is me going through the 5 days of Christmas before the Christmas holiday. This video will either be released on the 20th or the 21st of, well, the first video will be released either on the 21st or the 20th of December up until the 24th or the 25th. So each day I'm hoping that it'll inspire you, that it'll motivate you to go into the new year with a new mindset, a new perspective, with education or something new that you may have learned or be able to take away, or even reiteration of the things that you've already learned in life so that you could be the best version of you. So as I have been fasting, and I know they say not to say that you're fasting, but since the fast is over, I feel okay sharing it. So as I went through this fasting period, I really wanted God to show me the things that needed to be removed from my life, to show me the error of my ways, to show me how I can be a better person, what I can do to serve his people, what I can do to change the person that I used to be, or to change those things about me that are not serving the kingdom. And so as I've been spending time with God and reading my Bible and fasting from these things, I really have been learning a lot about myself. And it's so funny. I never go into a fast saying, God, give me a car, a house, all of this money. I don't fast for any of those things. When I fast, is to build my relationship with God. It's because I want more understanding. I want more wisdom. But it's not like, God, give me this. It's like, God, our Father who art in heaven, in a real humble way. I'm like, just show me what needs to be removed and added to my life so I can be closer to you. What are the things that are serving me? What are the things that are not serving me? Because I really want to be the best version of myself. I want to be everything that it is that you created me to be, nothing more, nothing less. And as God is guiding me and showing me the things that I need to change in my life, he's been teaching me a lot about being selfless. And I don't want to say that I'm a super arrogant or selfish person all the times, as although most humans, almost all humans walking the face of this earth have a selfishness about themselves. And it might not always look the same. Like it might not look like me. It might look like I'm doing this because I want to receive something. It might look like I'm doing this because I selfishly want accolades or affirmation. I'm doing this because I selfishly want this man, even though this isn't the man that God sent for me. It could look like I selfishly want this house because I want to stun on people or whatever other materialistic object, but not because I want to serve or help other people, or because I'll have the extra space to be able to help the community, or because I'll have this house and this house will allow me to be able to work on different projects in different rooms, or being able to be a blessing to somebody else. That's what selfishness is. And for me, my selfishness, I feel okay being transparent in this moment. My selfishness comes from me choosing different things in my life that do not serve the kingdom. I might really want this job because it looks good on paper. And it might be like, you know what? Okay, this is a 401k job with this pay, with this or that. And I'm just so excited about it because of the title. Not because of the work, not because of anything else, but because I want to feel in myself, I want to feel self-validation by a title when that's not who I am. That's just a position. And yes, I want to, of course, be good in any position that I take in my life. I also need to be mindful that that position doesn't make or break me, that that job doesn't make or break me, that the person that's a part of my life, whether they're there or not, does not make or break me as a person. It still means that I am who I am, with or without any person, place, or thing that looks good at the time. And I also struggle with this in relationships in the past. I would really want to be with this guy so badly, like, oh my gosh, God, do you not see how this man is looking right now? And you telling me I gotta give this up? And I know some people are like, of course I would give it up. Oh, that's no big deal. Why would you be worried about some man? And everybody on the outside got all these opinions until you get in it. And then you be like, you know, no, but see the way this guy is set up. Did you not see? Did you? But he was so sweet when he said those things, and all of the other things, whatever your thing is that you're attracted to, that'll be the thing that the adversary gonna send, or that'll be the distraction that's a part of your life, or that'll be the man that you think is the one, and God did not bless that. But yet we keep holding on to these things, acting as if that's going to all of a sudden God just gonna bless it after we done already picked it. Like we done picked the job and now we like, God bless this job, and God's like, I'm not nowhere in this company. Why would you ever think in a million years that I was going to just be like, all right? And we do that with material objects. My car is messed up, I need to get the best car on the lot. Like, no, you probably just need a new car. Like, unless God is like, okay, go ahead and buy this car because it's within your budget, because it's something financially that makes sense. And I don't think anything's wrong with getting something that's better, but don't just make yourself go broke trying to buy something to impress somebody else. That's just not the way to live. And also, when it comes to a man, you definitely should check with God first before entering anything. Because the worst thing that you could do is get your feelings all involved. And then you got to kick them to the curb, or you got to move on with your life. Because then it's like, okay, then the person looking at you like, why would you even start this if you were not planning on being here? So you have to be real with yourself and honest with yourself and honest with God, and saying, like, I used to try to like really be like super soft with God, like, God, I just didn't want to hurt your feelings, and saying, like, if God would say I got to give up this man or this person, place, or thing, I would be like, okay, God. And I would try to be so humble, as if I was just like the best Christian in the world. Like, oh yeah, that's nothing, I could get rid of these things. And on the inside, I'm feeling like, really? I got to give up everything? Is there anything like, and I get a lot of blessings and stuff, but sometimes when you lose one thing, you feel like you lost 100, but really it's just one thing. And so God would be like, get rid of this one thing. And I'd be like, all right, God, okay, I understand. And I would smile and grin and bear it as if I was okay with it. And a pastor said something that I think is really helpful, that God is omnipresent, omnipotent. He knows everything. He's the Alpha and Omega. He can handle your emotions. If you're angry, get angry at God. You're not going to hear a lot of Christians say that, but get angry. If you're mad, if you're upset, if you're sad, if you don't understand something, talk to God. He would rather have a relationship with you where you're honest than for you to pretend like you're okay with something when you're struggling. And then you're sitting there breaking down, feeling the burden of the entire world when it was not your cross to bear. It was never your burden to bear in the first place. We have to be real with ourselves and say, God, or real with God, or rather real with God, and say, God, I really did want this position because financially it made sense, because it put me in a position for this, because I really did like the title. If the title is your thing, I really did like the title. So God, when you told me I couldn't have this, I don't understand why. And yes, I know that everything works for the good of those that, are believing in God and all of these things. But at this moment, I don't feel that way. I feel hurt. I feel disappointed. I feel discouraged. I feel let down. I feel like everything that I want, I can't have it. And God, why is this happening right now? Why? I'm a good person. Why is it that I have to wait on these things? Why is it that you won't give me this right now? I got a revelation earlier. There was this pastor preaching, and he said something, and I'm trying not to get too preachy. But there was this pastor in the sermon earlier today that I was listening to, and he said, we keep on, and I'm just going to use relationships since we're on this topic. He's like, we keep on saying, God, when is this man going to come into my life? I don't know why I said it like that, but we'll be like, God, when is this man gonna come into my life, my kingdom spouse, my Boaz, whatever, the other terminology is that we as religious people use, right? And God be like over in the corner, like, when you gonna let Jim, Bob, Jack, whoever it is that's still in your phone, that you got saved in your phone, when you gonna stop messaging that guy that is not your Boaz? When you gonna stop being around that guy who's a friend that you need to let go of? Because how can I send this man, this good man, who's Boaz, so to speak, in your life if you already got somebody in his position? I said, when they come for you like that, you got to listen, because it's so true. How many times do we ask God for something and we replace it with something temporarily satisfactory because we don't want to wait on God? Because we feel like in the waiting season it's taking too long. Oh no, I wish I could have a husband tomorrow. And God's like, well, tomorrow is more like next week or next month. And if you would be obedient, I would give it to you in a month. But because you don't want to be obedient like the Israelites, then I'm going to make you wait 40 years for a husband when you could have had it in 9 days. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes in life, we just really make it harder on ourselves because we want to be selfish, because we want to fill that void with the things that are satisfactory right now, the things that are fulfilling us at this very moment, because we are so impatient because of microwavable society that we don't feel like we want to wait for things that have to take the time that the oven does to bake. We don't want to wait for it to be finished, complete. We want something that's hurried, that's rushed, that's going to be cold in the middle, like a pot pie. I don't know why I'm using all these analogies, but that's how we are in life. We really try to rush God when God knows better than us. When he knows what's best for us in our lives than we know for ourselves. And until you get rid of Bob, Jack, Jim, whoever it is, that's your friend that you talk to, you let all your emotions out to, that you run to when you have a problem, that you have feelings for, but you trying to pretend like you don't really care that person is or isn't interested in you. The person that you're holding on to because you hope that they'll change their mind, and they never will, because why should they when they get everything they want for free? And I'm not saying like I'm getting on you with anything that you do in your life, but if you're emotionally pouring into them and your mind is the biggest sexual organ, or if you are giving them the best of you, and what do you have left to give the man that God has for you? Nothing. Why would God send a perfectly good man to you for you to treat him like crap? Do you remember, and I'm only saying this because most people have been hurt, men and women. Do you remember that person that treated you like crap and you felt like secondhand, like a choice? I mean, like an option and not a choice? You remember that person? That's how this man that God has for you is going to feel if you sitting up there talking to this pretend version of the Boaz that's for you. That is exactly how it's going to feel when this guy knows that he's not getting all of you because he could tell that you're not giving him the best version of you. That's exactly how it's going to be for men, this woman that you're waiting on, when you like, but she don't really communicate with me. You got all your communication out with Sarah and Sam. So why would this other woman be able to even verbalize her emotions to you when you can't even make the time because you're not consistent enough? Or you are consistent enough, but your mind is somewhere else because you haven't let that thing go. We really have to make space for the things that we're praying for. If you're praying for a Proverbs 31 woman, then you got to be a kingdom man. Like, you can't just get that kind of treatment and then treat women like crap. It's not cohesive, So you have to make sure that you're on the same page. And you want to make sure that you don't let go of a good man because you are so busy worried about something else, you know? And so as I was going through the sheet of different things or writing down notes from sermons, because I like to take scriptural notes and put in little bullet points and everything on my paper. Like, I have so many pages. This is what I do. I think this is just this week. And it's only, when you watch this, it'll be a couple days later. But this is only like the third day of the week. And I have wrote all of this. I'm a writer for real. Like, you don't understand how much I love to write. And so, as I'm writing down my notes, I realized the reason why God told me to serve and be selfless. The reason why God is telling you to, or people, when they give you an advice, unsolicited or solicited, when they give you this advice and they tell you to be single, usually they're telling us to be single because everything that God has for you is coming to you regardless. There's nothing that you could ever want for in life. If you want this job that bad, if you're serving and helping other people, God is going to make sure that position opens for you. And when you interview, the job is yours. Nobody else can take it from you. When you are serving, you're not being focused on what you can receive out of this situation. You're more focused on how you can help and serve this company to be better, which you can add to this company. When you're serving in a relationship, you're not just worried about, okay, I need to find my husband. He's going to do this for me. He's going to do that for me. He's going to buy me flowers. We're going to go on dates. You got all this list of things that you want this random stranger to do because any guy could fill those bullet points. But when you really are serving, when you're really being appreciative, when you're really asking the guy what it is that he wants or how he feels about certain things, or acknowledging the fact that it's not just all about you, when you are completely selfless and being ready to serve, then God is going to send you that man because your heart is willing, because your mind is willing, because your attitude, your heart posture is good. So God has been teaching me be selfless. Like, don't just worry about what you can get to benefit from the things in your life from serving or helping people. Don't just think about what you can get out of a relationship or a kingdom spouse. Just serve. Just help people. Give people a space to feel safe and seen. See where you could help in your job, where somebody would need help on a project, need help with things in their life and their, someone needs an ear for you to lend to, for them to talk about things that they're going through, because you'll never know what position somebody's in life, and you listening might be the thing that changes their whole life. They might not feel so alone anymore. They might not feel like they don't have anywhere to turn because of you. So instead of thinking about, okay, what can I get from this life today? How about we start thinking about, what can I give to this life today? What can I give to the people at my job? What can I give to this man that comes into my life? And I don't mean you just give them all of you, your mind, your body, and your soul. I mean that, how can you really allow this person to feel safe and seen? What is it that you could do to just let this person be a person? Like, instead of thinking of them like, oh, that's my husband, how about you just think this is Jack? Let Jack be Jack. Let Jack be his own personality, doing the things that are important to him, being the person that he was intended to be. And you be the best version of yourself. And if you're supposed to be together, you'll be together. If you're not, you won't. And I'm not saying he should not have some sort of intentionality. You should both be intentional with your lives. But instead of putting pressure on the person, making them think that, okay, tomorrow we getting married. How about, instead of thinking of him as a husband, okay, well, he called. When is he going to call? Is he going to call this time? Is he going to do this, and this? Like, just focus on what you got to do. Focus on serving in your life, being the best version of yourself, and letting people just be seen. Like, show people that they matter in life. Let them just be who they are, so that they can become the best person of their choosing. And you choose if that person is supposed to be a part of your life. I learned that from a podcast earlier. I really think that sometimes we feel like we don't have an option to choose, like the world has to choose for us, but we do. We can choose if we want to be with this person or not. We can choose if we want to work at this place or not. We can choose. And I'm definitely saying stay where God tells you to stay. Do not just listen to somebody online or somewhere else and be like, okay, all right, I'm gone. No, stay there. Focus, be intentional where you are, and know that you can make any decision you want in your life that's best for you. You don't ever have to stay anywhere that you're not wanted. You don't ever have to be undervalued, unappreciated anywhere. You always have a choice. And sometimes it feels good to have a person, place, or thing in your life, but you have to really say, does this make sense? And I'm not saying that in a specific setting. I'm saying that in general, in life. And when you want something, be real with yourself. Don't just pretend like you don't want something just because you're thinking, oh, well, I can't have this thing. You can have anything that you put your mind to. Anything. If God blesses it, it's yours. There is nothing in this world that you will ever want for. It doesn't have to be Jack, it could be Jim. You might say, oh, Jack is the best guy that I've met thus far. And God might say, but Jim is grace for you. This guy might say, Becky's the best girl that I've seen thus far. But Sarah is the one that's grace for him. So we just have to be a little more selfless. Just be willing to serve the kingdom and allow God to use you so that you could be a blessing to other people, and everything that you want is going to come to you. You don't have to, we always pretend like we have to fight so hard for everything that we want. What do we fight? Like, what are we fighting against? We should be working together. Like, yes, be intentional and definitely pursue the things that matter to you, but you never have to force anything that's not anything that's God. Everything that's God will flow. So thank you for watching. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.